44-41 over Rutgers with a big comeback. K-State finishes the season 9-4. I'm Ted the Sports Head.
Hello, America. It's Rob Brown here to help you beat the books with BetQL. The Denver Broncos have been the best team in the NFL at covering the spread this season. Only 4 times this year have the Broncos not covered the number. This weekend, they face the Bengals and are currently underdogs against Joe Burrow and company. Broncos +3, 5-star best bet. I'm Rob Brown. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetQL and BetMGM apps today.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Hey, it's Tommy Castor from Sports Daily. Listen live to KFH on the Odyssey app and at kfhradio.com.
Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH Wichita, KNSS HD2 Clearwater, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey, Wichita, it's Jacob Albrock. Stay right there for the latest breaking in sports talk. It's Sports Daily, coming up next exclusively on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
I'm Rhett Lewis with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Week 17 began Thursday night with the Seahawks keeping their sights set on the playoffs with a 6-3 victory over the Bears in Chicago. Seattle's defense stepped up at Soldier Field, racking up 7 sacks and holding Caleb Williams and company to 179 total yards. Prior to kickoff, the Seahawks placed Kenneth Walker III on injured reserve. The veteran running back finishes the regular season with 573 yards rushing and would be eligible to return to the field if Seattle were to make the playoffs and go on a postseason run. In other injury news, CeeDee Lamb will miss the remainder of the season due to an ongoing shoulder injury. The All-Pro wideout will undergo treatment but will not require surgery. And in Detroit, the Lions have announced that veteran quarterback Teddy Bridgewater is coming out of retirement to join the team on their active roster. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-949-1331. That's 800-949-1331.
Paid for by Wesley Financial.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrocht and Tommy Kester.
Well, for the second day in a row, we have to apologize to the Jacob Albrocht and the Tommy Castor fans. Neither of them in here at the moment. It's Brandon Zenner. It's TJ Cleveland. Jed Chambers producing this thing again today. Tommy and Jacob will join us coming up at the 10 o'clock hour, not only for picks, but a major show announcement as well. Paul will join for our picks as well. It's going to be a fun Friday. And just continuing off the momentum of a big Kansas State win last night, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into a little bit of what was supposed to be a Thursday night football game. Instead, it was a Thursday night kicking contest between the Seahawks and as they come out with a win. TJ, you're back from Christmas. How we doing today?
We are great. Drove last night, listened to a K-State game here bright and early this morning. We calling somebody into finally getting the Brandon TJ in the morning show. So we're just going to run with it and see what we can do.
And we also got Jad in here this morning. Jad, I just saw you walk through that door. You had something piping coming out of your cup. I think I know what it is on a Friday.
Yeah. Well, not quite. I tried to make some of our delicious Prairie Fire or I tried to get some of our delicious Prairie Fire coffee.
Can I take the end of it?
And it seems like the person who got coffee before me killed the coffee and didn't fill the coffee.
Well, that's Brandon Zinner.
That is on me. Hand up. I apologize, but yeah, we are powered by Prairie Fire Coffee here. So,
but that's okay because we have more. So I'm just going to go out while you guys are sitting here talking, and I'm going to make some more coffee and then grab some. So everything will be fine. Prairie Fire's always got our back. We've always got coffee here.
And we have coffee, but after the show, maybe we want some French toast. Maybe people want to call in during the show. How is that powered, Jed?
Oh, well, that would be on the IHOP hotline. You can give us a call on the IHOP hotline. Yeah, give us a call on the IHOP hotline. Another way to get a hold of us, if you have that Odyssey app, is you can hit the little microphone there on the Odyssey app while you're listening to Sports Daily. I'll get that message and I can play it back for you. So, yeah, 869-1240 is the IHOP hotline, or just listen on the IHOP app and hit that IHOP app and IHOP app. How about Odyssey app?
I have to apologize for
and
not
hit that
giving me
little
some of my
microphone.
coffee. Maybe I can just pass my cup across the desk.
I do need that coffee.
Yeah, so again, it's a Friday, a fun day ahead for us here. It was Paul and I in yesterday talking about a big Chiefs, and we can maybe dive into them a little bit later. We talked with Cole Carmody yesterday previewing this Kansas State game. But in the end, they come out with the 44-41 win, and TJ, it looked like a game at halftime where a lot of people were going to be kind of echoing a sentiment that was late in the year of what is Connor Riley and this Kansas State offense doing. But in the second half, it was this Kansas State offense that we have been waiting for. Dylan Edwards and Avery Johnson's show leading the way to a big win.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like ever since they announced the Rate Bowl, ever since we really knew that K-State wasn't going to make the college football playoff, it was, what are you looking forward to in this bowl? Because really, these bowl games really don't mean that much in the grand scheme. They got a cool trophy with a cactus on it at the end of the day. But, when you're not playing for a college football playoff and you're not meaningless football, but kind of meaningless football, you start to look ahead of what excites you in this bowl game. And for us, it was watching Dylan Edwards be the primary back, watching how him and Avery Johnson work together, because we saw glimpses of it this year. But when you have a guy like DJ Giddens, you're not going to get the full load of Avery and Dylan running the show. We saw it last night, and it was honestly every single thing that we kind of hoped it would be. It was everything that we thought it was going to be whenever we saw him transfer earlier. It was everything we thought it was going to be whenever they were seniors in high school, both committed to K-State. Finally got the real thing last night, and it was 4 combined touchdowns between the two of them.
18 carries, 196 yards. That's a Kansas State bowl rushing record for Dylan Edwards. Goes for 2 touchdowns, adds a third through the air on a 26-yard score. I mean, and he got it done in more ways than one. We saw him on the jet sweeps. We saw him taking handoffs over the tackle. We saw him running between the tackles as well, something that was more of a DJ Giddens role. I mean, that was an all-around performance, and we knew what kind of flash he had. We knew what kind of speed he had, the acceleration, everything. But, I mean, I think last night we saw more than just some potential. We saw that Dylan Edwards isn't on the brink of being an all-purpose back, an all-around all-purpose back, but he is here. Last year was the Avery Johnson announcing to the nation that he has arrived. Last night it was Dylan Edwards.
Yeah, and it really is, talking to people, whenever they realized DJ Giddens was going to go pro, there was a lot of people saying, I just don't know if Dylan Edwards is going to be able to do it as a primary back. They said that at Colorado. They said that a little bit this year because, obviously DJ Giddens getting the majority of those snaps, and he was kind of the gadget guy that they had this year. But, a lot of people are quick to forget that, 2 or 3 years ago, they had a guy named Deuce Vaughn who was smaller than Dylan Edwards was. He is way less than Dylan Edwards does right now. And Dylan's only going to get bigger as he stays at Kansas State and keeps working with the strength and conditioning program there. So last night, again, I kind of just said it, but it's everything that you want to see and everything that everybody's been begging for. But that second half, really in a nutshell, K-State was a team that didn't really have much of an identity for the majority of the season during that Big 12 stretch where everything was just kind of stagnant a little bit. Last night in the second half was an identity. You had Dylan Edwards lining up as a wide receiver, jet sweep, running back, him and Joe Jackson bouncing off of each other. Avery Johnson, playing off of that, playing the option, quarterback runs, being aggressive in the quarterback run, and it opened everything up. When you have something that you can do like that, it's going to make this offense 10 times better, and that's something that you hope that you bring in the next year, along with a 5-star tight end that's going to play some wide receiver for you. You can go get some wide receiver help in the portal, and this offense could be really, 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 really dangerous if they look like that next year.
Yeah, and we just saw pure toughness last night, which is really good to see this late in the year. And again, in a game that did not, in the grand scheme of things, it meant nothing. It's good to build on for the future. But on the touchdown reception, Dylan Edwards lowers his shoulder into a dude while going in the end zone, kind of just showing that he's listed as 5'9". I'm 5'9" too.
We've covered Dylan Edwards. It's okay.
That's okay. Dylan Edwards, a larger than life presence on the field at least, but and just showing up in such big moments. I wrote him down here, down 34-17 in the third quarter. A 65-yard touchdown run that was absolutely electric with 6 minutes left in the third. And then with 4 to play, down 41-36, another 36-yard touchdown run. Just kind of took it right over the left tackle, found a crease, and he was got an awesome block downfield. I think it was from Jace Brown that led to the go-ahead touchdown in the final minutes. And then, also that 26-yard rushing touchdown, the K-State Bowl rushing record. We talked with Cole Carmody yesterday. He said he expected Dylan Edwards is going to be involved. Did you envision 18 carries for him in a game that means nothing when we're going into an offseason? I'm not sure that I did. I was thinking more like 12, but they put it on the man yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was more bell cow than I expected for sure. I thought that it was going to be a little bit of him and a little bit of Joe Jackson mixing in, which they did a little bit. But 18 carries in a bowl game, as you're saying, for a guy that you can call it a trial run. I guess that there was a lot of skeptics of if he was going to be able to be a bell cow at the Power 5 level, and he goes out and does it against a Big Ten team that's known for their defense and runs for 200 yards. So pretty good trial run for Dylan Edwards. I expect to see a lot more of that.
Cole and Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Cats, joined us earlier in the week. They both talked about the physicality of this Rutgers team and that we expected just to be a knockdown, drag-out game. But then in the end, one team rushes 36 times for 164 yards. Yeah, you'll take giving up under 5 yards a carry in college football, especially in a bowl game. Meanwhile, Kansas State, 42 carries, 347 yards. That's good for 8.3 yards a pop. I think they had 4 or 5 carries of 25-plus yards as well. We didn't know if the physicality was going to be there necessarily for K-State without DJ Giddens, without Jacob Parrish. But if anything, for I think Chris Kleiman and the gang, that Kansas State identity showing up has to be a positive as we move into an offseason.
Yeah, and that was kind of what the entire season boiled down to, because you think back to the year that K-State won the Big 12, they had an identity. It was give it to Deuce Vaughn and Will Howard would kind of take care of the rest. And, even the year after that, when they were in the hunt for a Big 12 championship and, made their way to the Pop-Tarts Bowl and saw what they did there, they were going to give you some really good quarterback play, and DJ Giddens was going to help carry the load there, and they had an identity of what they were going to do with this offense. And then this year, it seemed like everything just kind of packed itself back down. They were less aggressive with Avery in the run game, and that just kind of slowed everything down. And you can only do so much whenever you just hand the ball off on 3rd and 10 to DJ Giddens and hope that he gets 10 yards. Identity is something that just means so much in college football, because you have to think about the defense. The defense is a bunch of 20-year-olds. It's hard to read offenses when they're doing this kind of stuff. If you can confuse them, and that's what made Andy Kotelnicki so great. What makes him so great at Penn State is you confuse defenses, and if you can do everything that they did last night, you're going to find a lot of success, in my opinion.
Yeah, and as you alluded to, I think the best is still on the horizon for this offense. Dylan Edwards is only a sophomore going into his 3rd year. Same with Avery Johnson. They're getting in Lincoln Curran, a 5-star who I think people have a lot of high hopes for, kind of right out of the gate. Maybe too high of hopes just in an immediacy. But the Jace Brown portal talk, it seemed that was completely fictional by whoever put that out there. Connor Riley, I think he was probably the biggest winner last night. We just talked about the creativity of the offense lacked there in the final 4 weeks. It will be interesting to see how much they ever dive into the Avery Johnson injury stuff, because I do think whatever started hurting him there in that Colorado game. It played a factor the rest of the season. And as much as he went to the podium on Mondays and said, I'm feeling better than I did the day before, I'm not sure he was ever fully 100%, maybe till last night, which he was good on the ground, 11 carries, 57 yards, and a 27-yard touchdown. But as far as we see the potential with this offense, but if they are going to reach their full potential, it's going to come with Avery Johnson still continuing to prove as a passer. He didn't have his best passing game yesterday, 15 of 30, 195 yards. We saw some underthrows on the short ones. We saw some overthrows on balls that are down the field. He did throw for 3 touchdowns still. He came up clutch in a lot of places. You got to give him that. Had a pick as well. But, yeah, just what do we take away from Avery Johnson here as he closes out a pretty strong record-setting K-State sophomore campaign?
Yeah, obviously I feel like last night was a little bit of an outlier. We haven't seen that many overthrows in a game from Avery pretty much all year long. He did make some big-time throws. You think back to the early season, what he was doing against Arizona. You think back to the game-winning touchdown against Colorado. He's able to make the throws, and I think that you kind of chalk up some of that, not last night, you kind of chalk up some of the regular season into everything just felt a little bit forced, and for a young quarterback, you're trying to make plays whenever your offense is just kind of stagnant a little bit. I think that everything is going to open up more, and obviously whenever he runs the ball like he did last night, that does open up more. Even if you have 15 incompletions, if you're running the ball, you're still going to keep the defense back on their heels, not knowing when to attack, when to blitz, and everything like that. So I think that there's still more on the horizon, and it's just insane to think about. They showed last night a clip of him and Dylan in the Under Armour All-American Bowl when they were seniors in high school. That dude's probably gained 75 pounds. Like, it doesn't look like it when you watch him because he still looks so skinny, but man, he's put on some weight, and you just think about what another offseason there is going to do for him.
Yeah, no, it is exciting to think about the future with him, especially with, like we talked about, the weapons that are coming in. He is only a sophomore. He still only started. So last night would have been start number 15 for him in his career. The Pop-Tarts Bowl a year ago, and then going 9-4 this year. So through his sophomore season, I think if you would have told K-State fans that Avery Johnson coming in, you're going to win 10 of the first 10 of the first 14 games that he's playing in. You're going to take that, especially with, K-State has had some great quarterbacks, but in uncharted territory with where they've been with Avery Johnson. I think the future is still very, very, very bright with this group.
I think there's a little bit of Will Howard syndrome. I think that was the thing with Will Howard.
Helping he's still playing.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially that. But I think that even whenever Will was at K-State, you think about the fact that, he broke the all-time touchdown record, and the fans were they didn't want him there. They didn't think he was a good quarterback. They were calling for Avery to take his spot because he was throwing too many interceptions in that final year. And I think that you get caught up in that a little bit as a quarterback. I think that fans get caught up into, what they want a college quarterback to be. They were kind of blessed a little bit that one Will Howard year. He played out of his mind that one year, and it kind of came back to reality the next year. I think that this is a successful season for a sophomore quarterback, especially. Is it an NFL draft prospect type of season for Avery? Not this year. I think that next year he has that potential to come out and play like that. I'm sure the K-State fans are hoping that he doesn't play that great, so he might stay for another year. But he's got the tools to do it. I think that especially when this offense opens up, he'll be able to find a lot more success in it. And just with the offense like that, if they were able to pull that out, it's going to make everybody on the field better.
And Cole Carmody touched on it yesterday. The last games for the likes of Austin Moore, Brendan Mott, 2 real K-State defensive legends. And they showed up in big moments for Kansas State yesterday. Again, K-State getting the 44-41 win in the Rate Bowl, finishing the year 9-4. That will do it for us to start on this Friday on Sports Daily. Much more to come ahead. It's Center. It's Cleveland. Much more to come in the 10 o'clock hour as well. Jet Chambers producing this thing today. We'll be right back after this break.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere, bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Welcome back into Sports Daily on a Friday. Zenner, Cleveland in for Albrock and Castor this morning. They will be joining us again coming up in the 10 o'clock hour for a big show announcement, as well as we're going to make our Friday picks I can't wait to hear what Jad has to give for us as far as the results from a week ago. I'm humble either way. I mean, let's say I'm here to just have some fun, Jad. Well,
that's good.
Even if I don't even know if I had a good week last week, but you might tell everybody how those went in the 10 o'clock hour, will you?
Yeah, in the 10 o'clock hour. Yes, I will.
Yeah. Okay.
Build the suspense.
Yeah, exactly. And if
little suspense. Yeah.
you don't have to say if I haven't had a good week or not. So yeah, we'll just leave that out there. Now, TJ, we didn't get to talk to you yesterday about a big Chiefs win on Christmas Day, 29-10 winners. They wrap up the AFC's top seed, so they're now going to be kicking up their feet for the next 2.5 weeks, at least it looks like. No reason to play, at least extensively, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. Chris Jones already did sit out in this one, but for a Chiefs team that was seemingly in peril all season long, how is this season going to unfold? It unfolds as every one of the past 6 with Patrick Mahomes are the top seed in the AFC, and the AFC runs through Arrowhead again.
Basically, I'm really wondering. That's the kind of the talking point that I've been seeing. I haven't got a chance to talk to you about it yet. That if they sit next week, they get the week after that off too. They get 5 days this week too. So yeah, 2.5 weeks off before they would play a playoff game. Does that worry you at all? You think that's welcome for the team? I'm sure they're wanting some rest, but how much rest is too much rest to where that playoff game is basically a week 1 game?
I'm honestly not as concerned. Now, the Bills could also go that same route. If they win this week, they'll wrap up the 2 seed, but that's not going to affect the Chiefs because they're not going to play the Bills at least until it would be the AFC Championship game. So whoever else they would play would not be coming off of any rest themselves. Every other team is fighting for playoff seeding across the board, whether it's the Texans or the AFC North winner battling for those 3 and 4 seeds. So it's a factor of being too rested versus playing your 19th game of the year. I'm not too concerned. I mean, it'd be one thing if you had a rookie quarterback or a group that's not battle tested, but let's be real. The Chiefs are as battle tested as anybody. Not with this group of Xavier Worthy, DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown. But again, all those guys are a product of the quarterback and of the system. I'm not concerned in the slightest, I don't think, about resting people. Paul said he wants to see the guys get a series or 2, which they could, but then there's also the roster limits on game days that's going to come into effect. I think it's best just take Patrick Mahomes' helmet away, especially with the ankle. Why risk anything against a Broncos team that's likely going to be playing for their playoff lives in Week 18?
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think there's any reason that Patrick Mahomes needs to play in this game. I mean, you could make an argument that you put Isaiah Pacheco out there with the time that he missed to make sure he's in the right rhythm. Maybe leave Xavier Worthy in there, get some reps with a different quarterback, everything like that. But I don't think there's any reason Mahomes, Kelce, Jones, Justin Reed, whoever you want to put out there that have done this for so long, they don't need to play out there. I'm really excited for a Carson Wentz game. I can't wait to see that. I bet I'm taking his over whatever it is. He's going to have an awesome game with this Chiefs offense because I love Carson Wentz and I think he's going to be able to play somewhere in the NFL. And I'd love to see that get a kickstart next week. The Broncos, that'd be a fun one to do it against too. So, but yeah, definitely this game. Just looking at the stats, I haven't really dove deep into the numbers or anything like that. But you see a 320-yard passing game with no interceptions from Mahomes. That's got to be the first one that we've seen. And
the first game this season of 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. So yeah, the first one also with 0 interceptions.
Yeah. Definitely clicking at the right time here. I think that, we've obviously talked a lot on Sports Sunday on KWCH about, what this team doesn't do well. And I feel like they didn't do any of that on Wednesday.
No, yeah, they played defense exceptionally well. No Chris Jones, no problem. All they did is have 5 sacks, which might have been a season high. I did not go back and look, unfortunately. They got the Steelers to turn the ball over again. So I think it's in the last 12 quarters now. I think they have 11 takeaways, which this was a team that wasn't really producing takeaways, especially in the middle part of the season where they gave up 20-plus points in 4 of 5 games. Where we thought the world was ending for the Chiefs, and now they are the 1 seed. Xavier Worthy looked like a wide receiver 1. Yeah. He looked like Rashee Rice out there. simply enough, Hollywood was moving the sticks, and I think his package is just going to continue to expand. Kelsey looked like he was 30 years old again.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem I took away from the game is Jawan Taylor just can't stop committing penalties. He was really, really bad. But otherwise we talk about what they don't do well. They did a lot of it well on Wednesday.
Yeah, they definitely did. And, you could literally pinpoint every single one of the things like you kind of just talked about, whether it's the left tackle issue. Joe Thuney played really well. You talk about the drops going back to last season. The wide receivers played exceptionally well. The defense played exceptionally well. Didn't get any pass rush. As you said, they got 5 sacks the other day. So this is right when you want to be playing your best ball. You get time off for these guys that have played, 14 weeks in a row now or some unreal something.
Yeah,
like
they had
that.
a week 5 bye, so every week since then.
Yeah, so really early bye. They've been playing every single week and just getting beat up every single week too. They had so many injuries during that stretch. So getting this time off is going to be really huge for them. And then they welcome in whoever that is that's going to be an Arrowhead for the divisional round and just try to do what they've done for the past 3 years.
Yeah, that just made me recall. You mentioned the Isaiah Pacheco week 18. He did leave the game in the 4th. What was questionable return, did not return with a rib injury. Andy Reid said after the game, he, quote, dinged his ribs. I don't know what that means. It sounds like he got hit in the ribs if I had to read between the lines. And we will, quote, see how bad they are. That was the only injury of note as well. So he did look like he was in pain. He came off the field right away. I don't know what to make of that. We won't get another Andy Reid update. Maybe something leaks out over the weekend. But otherwise, we'll hear from him on Monday, and that's usually the guys are just getting in the building. Yeah. We'll tell you on Wednesday.
You're not going to get a ton from Andy Reid after something like that happens. So the good news is if there is something going on with Pacheco, they have a proven guy that can do it, that did it all season. And honestly, I think with that's what I'm talking about. Samaje Perine, actually. I think that even with the healthy Pacheco that we saw the past 2 weeks at least, I think that the Chiefs are more of a Kareem Hunt leaning offense right now, and it's unreal to think about because I think Pacheco was trending towards being maybe a top 10 running back in the league coming into the year, but Kareem Hunt looks good. I mean, he can just absolutely pound it through the zone and through the box, is what I'm trying to say. So they're not going to run the ball, but when they do, Kareem Hunt does it well.
Especially in the closing time, they're really Isaiah Pacheco is getting touches early, but it's when it's crunch time, there wasn't too much of a crunch time on Friday. Maybe early in the 4th quarter when they got the turnovers and really closed the door on them. But they've been leaning on Kareem Hunt in the latter stages of this game. He only had a long of I guess he didn't do a whole lot this last game, but again, they're still trusting putting the ball in his hands. Samaje Perine, they're really trusting him in the pass blocking downs. Blocking in the backfield, providing extra help, whether it's to Thuney or to Jawan Taylor. I think they're in a really good situation offensively going into the offseason or going into the postseason, that is. Just with the versatility on offense, the Noah Gray emergence that we have seen in the second half of the year. Xavier Worthy now, we talked about it on Sports Sunday. He had 6 consecutive games of 4 catches and 40-plus yards, and he went for 8. In 79, so continues that, another touchdown as well to extend his rookie lead in the NFL. The offense is just it's in a great place going into the postseason.
The whole Chiefs are in a great place. They get the 1 seed, and now the attention kind of turns into who they're going to play because there still is a little bit of a chase down there at the bottom of the AFC. As you were saying before we got on the air here, some big games on Saturday to decide who's going to get that 7 seed there, and everything's going to shake up a little bit. Is there any teams that you're scared of coming to Arrowhead? Who's going to play the Chiefs and have a chance to beat them in Arrowhead?
Yeah, exactly where I was thinking of moving. So the second round, the Chiefs they have no chance of playing either the 2 or the 3 seed just because of how the bracket works. So they would get the Chiefs in the divisional round would get either anywhere between the 4 and the 7 seed, just depending on how the first round works. Let's just go through the potential playoff teams. The Texans don't scare me, especially coming into Arrowhead. Pittsburgh, I'm not concerned about that team at all, especially we saw them with George Pickens. Just do not concern me at all. The Chargers, we've seen the Chiefs play 2 great games with the Chargers this year. That's a scary team.
Last time they played the Chargers, there's no Ladd McConkey on the field either, so that's definitely something.
And it took all the Chiefs could get to come away with that win. Denver's a scary team too. It feels really weird saying that about a Bo Nix and a Sean Payton team, but that defensive line is no joke. Bo Nix is just finding ways to make plays. Denver just I did not expect them to be competing for a playoff spot. But I mean, if Denver's able, as the bracket would shake out right now, Denver would go to Buffalo, and I think that'd be an excellent game. I think even one where Denver would have a chance to cover. That's not a team I think you want seeing coming into Arrowhead the third week of January.
Yeah, it's pretty unreal. You know, the AFC West is always really good this year. It's otherworldly how many teams are going to make the playoffs out of this thing. You know, the only one is the Raiders that's not going to make the playoffs. So, as you said, the Broncos are a team that, you know, the Chiefs won on a blocked field goal. You look at the Chargers, they won on a doinked field goal in. So I really think that it depends on what Chiefs team we're going to see. I think if we see the Chiefs team that we've seen the past 2 weeks against those teams, there's not going to be much to sweat about, and they'll win by 10 points probably. But if you have anything rear its ugly head, if you have a left tackle issue rear its ugly head, if you have a penalty issue rear its ugly head, there's going to be some worry because, you know, obviously if you're in the playoffs, you're a good team. And this year the AFC is pretty top to bottom really good.
Yeah, and also it's still not eliminated is the Colts, the Dolphins, and the Bengals. We do have an interesting game coming up tomorrow night, Bengals, Broncos. We're going to pick that game coming up in the 10 o'clock hour as well. The Bengals still need a little bit of help, and they need to win out, and they need to lose out to surpass the Broncos and get in. And again, who do the Chiefs play in Week 18? That's right, the Broncos. The Chiefs could fall over, lose, and seemingly end the Bengals season without even playing.
The drama. It's cinema. Just absolute cinema. That Jamar Chase would have a season ended on by Carson Wentz.
You hate to see it, honestly, if you're Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. All right, we're going to be right back here on Sports Daily again, coming up 10 o'clock. Big announcement and our picks.
97.5 and 1240 KF.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere, bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
31001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Jacob might not be in here, but we can still give the illusion he is. He loves the whole head nod to the music thing. He is going to join us along with Tommy again coming up at 10 o'clock for a big announcement as well as the picks. Do we need to wait till 10 o'clock? Should we
do it now?
Chad, are we gonna? Well, I mean, why keep the listeners waiting? I mean,
let's do it. Let's make them wait. Ratings are going up. We're gonna keep them here.
I don't know. Maybe we should wait. Maybe.
Okay. What the producer says is what the producer gets. So, all right, we can wait till 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Again, at 10 o'clock, a big show announcement that you'll want to be here for that will change the way you listen to Sports Daily on KFH. Again, Zenner and Cleveland in here this morning. Some big MLB news just dropping courtesy of John Hyman. Gleyber Torres, his Yankees tenure is officially done. In free agency, he is going to the Tigers. So the AL Central just continues to load up. What does that mean for Alex Bregman? Maybe the Mets, maybe the Yankees. That's going to be interesting to follow in MLB free agency. But as long as the Royals aren't really making moves, we don't really have much to talk about. But we do have plenty to talk about in college hoops. That's because, well, just in a couple days, we get a new year and a new conference season, TJ.
Absolutely. For one local team in the Big 12 is looking pretty good. One local team in the Big 12 is looking not great.
Can you clarify which ones you're talking about?
Nope, you can figure it out yourself. K-State plays Cincinnati on Monday night. KU plays West Virginia on New Year's Eve on Tuesday afternoon. And for K-State, if they fall in that one, that's 4 straight losses. And you're 0-1 in conference play. And vibes aren't great. Maybe something happened over the Christmas break. Maybe there's going to be a Christmas miracle intact. But we've talked about it before. We've been talking about this K-State team a lot since they lost to Wichita State. That it's not great, but good news is you got like 25 quad one win opportunities in front of you if they can find a way to win those games. So for KU, they got the same amount of quad ones in front of them. They're quad one themselves. So you just kind of have to talk. This is where you have to take care of business January, February, because March always brings weird stuff. You're going to have weird teams win the conference tournament and get in. So it doesn't really matter what you did in your non-con. Doesn't really matter what you do in March. If you're going to be an at-large team, you got to do it right now.
Yeah, I joke when I ask to clarify which team. Even Cole Carmody came on yesterday, and on a segment where we're talking about the bowl game, he has to take a shot at this K-State men's basketball team just because of how much flux they're in. Again, 6-5 through the non-con, and an ugly loss at Wichita State over this most recent weekend where they lead early in the second half, and then they end up losing by 19. KU, on the other hand, they were a little bit of a dogfight their last time out with Brown, and then they end up winning that game by 30. I mean, Zeke Mayo just continues to look like he might be making an All-American case if he can continue his recent stretch into the Big 12 play. Let's start with K-State because it's not an easy Big 12 schedule for them to open. So either their fans are going to lose complete interest, I think, in the next 3 weeks, or there's going to be a reason for hope because they're going to begin again coming up on the 30th against Cincinnati, which is number 17 in the country. A tough road trip to TCU, never an easy place to play. Tough road trip to Oklahoma State, certainly not the Oklahoma State of old, but still having a fine season. Never easy to play there. And then you get Houston and Texas Tech, two teams in the top 20 of the net as well. And then at Kansas, at Baylor. That's all before the 22nd of January.
Yeah. I think it was before the Drake game that ESPN literally had them as the toughest strength of schedule in the country the rest of the way. So it's definitely on now. They got Drake, they got Wichita State. Now they get a whole bunch of ranked Big 12 teams in front of them. So, as we said, I don't want to just keep beating the dead horse here, but it was K-State football. They had an identity problem. K-State basketball doesn't even know what the word identity means right now. Every single time out, it really kind of turns into the dribble around and shoot a three with 5 seconds left in the shot clock offense. And, something's got to give. Something's got to happen because they've got so much talent. And as we keep saying, they're able to fight back. They were able to fight back from down 20 against Drake, force overtime in that game, and they end up losing. That's just how talented this team is, that they have the ability to score in bounds like that. But you're not going to be able, they say live and die by the three, and K-State's been dying every single game by the three right now. I don't know what has to give.
Yeah, they took 32 of them, if I'm not mistaken, against Wichita State. Last thing on K-State before we move on, I guess, to the Jayhawks. I want your opinion because we talked with Wyatt Thompson earlier this week, and I asked him, what is the recipe for this team to win games the rest of the year? Because I don't know what it is. This team doesn't shoot free throws well. They don't shoot the ball well. They haven't rebounded well. They don't play great defense. What does this team do to win?
I mean, obviously, it's tough to make a scheme change in December at this point. But, when you look at the team, Coleman Hawkins is probably the best big man passer in the country. Like, just watching him in person against Wichita State, the things that he's able to find and see the floor the way that he does. I mean,
incredible.
There's a reason that he got paid $2 million. Like, obviously, it doesn't show up on the stat sheet whenever he's got 6 points a game and everything like that. But the things that he does well, he does so well. And you just think that you have to lean into things. The thing that I keep telling people whenever it comes to K-State, as you look at what they do and you look at what Wichita State does, Paul Mills versus Jerome Tang, Paul Mills is going to run sets until he loses his breath, because every single time down, they're either going to try to outrun you on a fast break or they're going to set something up and try to get Quincy Ballard involved somehow. And K-State, it seems that they're just going to try to outrun you. And if they don't get it, they're just going to try to get somebody to make a three-pointer. And that's all that they do, it seems like. I'm sure that they run some kind of sets, but looking in comparison to KU and Wichita State, they don't run sets near as many times as they do. And if this isn't working, you have to think that you can run it. The reason you run sets is to get the ball in the player's hands that you want it to get in, and they're not doing that.
Yeah, what Wyatt Thompson said was their recipe was he didn't know.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
No one really does know. It's you have two guys who are over 7 foot, David Gasson and Coleman Hawkins. I think they're at their best when they're taking shots from inside of 5 feet. If I'm K-State, I'm trying to get them as many looks at the rim as I can the rest of the season.
They don't do that very much.
And they don't. They did against Drake. That's what helped them come back in the game. But they don't do that very much. Now, as for KU, again, they had the 2 slip-ups in the non-con at Creighton and at Missouri in the same week. But since then, we've only seen them twice, honestly, in the last almost 3 weeks. Big wins at home against NC State and Brown. They have a chance to really start Big 12 play strong. West Virginia, at UCF, versus Arizona State. All quality opponents, but nothing like they're going to get with those next 2 games. We saw the road hurt KU bad at Cincinnati and at Iowa State. That's going to be a brutal second week in January, and one that's going to, I think, show a lot about this KU team.
Yeah, to be fair, you talk about KU on the road. We saw it last year. They went to UCF and lost as the number 1 team in the country. And maybe that's KU on the road, but I think that shows you how good KU is in Allen Fieldhouse. I think that they just play otherworldly inside that building, and they're going to have to find a way to do it on the road. The thing that I always talk about with KU is that they kind of run their offense around Hunter Dickinson, as we just talked about with K-State. They run sets to get Dickinson the ball, which is fine, but I think that whenever you saw their 2 road losses, they got down in a hurry, and if you run an offense through a center, you're bound to slow down. That's what you do whenever you run an offense through post moves and posting up back to the basket type of stuff. You just brought up Zeke Mayo. The dude is unreal.
He's been awesome.
When he gets hot from behind 3-point line, Zeke Mayo is one of the best that you'll find in the entire country. I think that you've got to be able to kind of make a switch whenever you're in that situation. If you're on the road at Arizona State, things are getting hairy. You've got to be able to pivot and say, okay, let's try to get this thing going in a hurry. We got to work this around, get to Zeke, and work the offense through him. And then you got Hunter Dickinson, who gets 15 rebounds a game on the other side. That's my 2 cents on whenever they get on the road if they get down.
Yeah, I think K-State or KU, what they do well is get those high percentage looks. They're 3rd in the Big 12 through the non-con in shooting percentage. They share the ball incredibly well with Hunter Dickinson has passed the ball really well this year. I thought DeJuan Harris, of course, is always going to be an assist machine. They're 2nd in the Big 12 in assists as well. Playing pretty solid defense as well. I think they're taking care of the ball like Bill Self would want them to. I think they're in a good spot, much more than fans thought just a couple of weeks ago when they had those back-to-back losses. And it's going to be interesting to see how this rotation continues to evolve. How much do we see of the Shaq Moores, of the David Coits as we move along? I think Flory Badunga is just going to continue to get more and more work. He was excellent against Brown and really has been great. KU has options as this thing moves along.
Yeah, the whole point that Bill Self kept talking about is he wanted to get, 8 starters on this team, 8 or 9 starters, and he really did there. It's an incredibly deep team, but you got to have the outside shooting. David Coit's the kind of guy that can bring that to you. Zeke Mayo's the kind of guy that can bring that to you. You got a lot of guys that don't have that outside shooting ability, and so you're really going to have to lean on guys like David Coit and Zeke Mayo whenever it gets hairy, because we watched the recipe unfold of a KU team that wasn't able to space the floor last year when you have Hunter and KJ and DeJuan on the floor at the same time. They're going to pack it in tight. You got to be able to make the shots. And it's going to – the season really, not to speak in, exaggeration or anything, but, Zeke Mayo and David Coit, you're going to have a lot to do with how the season goes in Big 12 play.
Absolutely, because this team needs to be able to shoot the ball and 3-point play. There's going to be tough games where you need a big bucket late, and it's going to come down to one of those two, because these teams are going to game plan to take away the likes of Hunter Dickinson. They're going to test KJ Adams and make him make some of those floaters that he is forced to take. Again, KU getting started right before the new year against West Virginia in Big 12 play, and then the Shockers, we see them in their last time out, 84-65 over K-State. They finished the non-con 9-3, and honestly pretty respectable. Obviously, the loss to Kansas City, it's going to hurt down the road. They're going to need to get a big win to make up for that. DePaul, they played well. We talked about it for 30 minutes, and then they end up losing by 19. Not indicative of how that game really went. But 9-3. I haven't looked at the net or the Ken Palm this week because there hasn't been any basketball this week. Last I checked, they were 4th in the conference behind Memphis, North Texas, and I think FAU. That's right. And FAU, I don't know if you've looked at their non-con. Not impressive at all. I don't know where that metric is coming in, but I think Wichita State's in a really good place going into the conference play.
Yeah, first of all, they got one more non-conference friends on Sunday, baby. NAIA team coming across the
road,
whatever you want to call it, across the turnpike, I guess. Coming up there off of Highway 96, I guess. Wichita State, absolutely. I think that, you really look at it. We've talked about the UMKC loss. You have to think that that's the outlier because they didn't look that bad in any other games that they played. They looked that bad in, I guess, 10 minutes against DePaul, but they looked really good for 30 minutes against DePaul. And they were able to win that game, and they didn't because they couldn't make outside shots. And against K-State, they made shots. They made shots in a hurry, and the offense clicked probably the best that we saw it all year long. So as you're talking about in that AAC, they're ranked 4th. They were 4th in the preseason poll, so I guess that's where they would be after the non-conference play. They're able to win this conference. I really think that they are. North Texas is going to be a really tough out. They're going to be better than Florida Atlantic, I think. There's no Dusty May there. There's no John L. Davis there. There's no Vlad Golden there anymore. They all left, followed them to Michigan or wherever they went. So Memphis is obviously going to be a tough out. They got Colby Rogers and PJ Haggerty and all the guys that they poached from the AAC over on their team, basically. So, but this Wichita State team, when they're at home, if you can get 8,000 people back in the Roundhouse too, they're going to be a tough out in the AAC, and I really think that they're going to be a team that's going to be fighting down at the end of that tournament in March.
And like Jacob and I were talking about earlier this week, I'm never going to be one to sit here and tell fans how to spend their money. I'm not going to tell them what to do with their free time because you are welcome to do whatever you want. But this Wichita State team, I think that they deserve the support of this fan base, of this community, again, with how they've played and with how Paul Mills is leading this team. And again, I'm not one to ever defend the team over the fans. But that environment last weekend was awesome. How the team responded in the second half, that was as good of an atmosphere as I have ever been in as a guy who's now covering my 3rd season here at Wichita State. And Xavier Bell and Corey Washington just are X factors for this team with their intensity, with their IQs, how they play the game. Paul Mills said it after the game. That's Wichita State basketball. Diving for the ball, just playing hard, playing with emotion. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, it may be the fact that we watch so much Wichita State basketball, but I just got to give it to Wichita State that they understand what they do so well, and they try to do it every single time. They know how good Xavier Bell is at getting to the bucket. They know how good Quincy Ballard is at finishing alley-oops and getting boards inside. And they don't try to play things that they're not. They don't try to shoot 33-pointers like K-State did and stuff like that. They're able to do whatever they want whenever they play well, and that's what I'm saying. They're going to be a team. It's going to be tough to stop them. As you talked about with the fans, obviously Wichita State hasn't given the fans too much to care about in the past since they won the AAC with Isaac Brown, basically, and it's been some down years, but obviously it's a lot of fun right now covering it, so I imagine it's got to be pretty fun to watch this team.
And a team that's been getting out in transition this year. It's been a lot of fun to watch. They're going to get friends again coming up this weekend and then open up the conference season at Temple next week. That will do it for our first hour here on Sports Daily with Zenner in Cleveland. Coming up, we are going to have our picks and a big announcement. Tommy and Jacob join the program coming up in just a few minutes.
Kansas.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere, bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12.
Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW.
12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here. Celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, Tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now.
310-01 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrecht and Tommy Kester.
That's right. Welcome back into Sports Daily, the second hour here on KFH Radio. Paul got in here, and I don't know if that's the reason we had to get the wide angle or it's just because we got.
Oh, yeah. You cannot go there.
It's because we needed an extra camera. It was not working.
Chad, stop laughing at that. That wasn't funny.
Paul, we spent 2 hours together yesterday. I love you, brother.
Yeah, I know. We had a good time, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a great time. It's been Zenner Cleveland leading the way here the first hour, but the second hour of this show is called Sports Daily with Jacob Albrecht and Tommy Castor. And Boys, you joined us here for the second hour. We got some picks, but even more news.
Yeah, that's right. We're both out not all week, I guess. Well, yeah, it's Friday, isn't it? I don't even know what day it is. But we do. We've been working on something for a little while, and there's a lot of moving parts with it, but we're really, really excited about it. Tommy, how long have you been on the show now? We're coming up on about two and a half years. Is that right?
Yeah, 2.5 years. It'll be, I think, 3 years this summer. You and I doing this show together. So yeah, it's been a while.
So we, in the beginning, it was Bruce Hurdle forever, and this has kind of been the slot for this show. And Paul and I have been jumping in and out of the show for a long time now, 10 years for me, and
20 for me,
for Paul. Yeah. So we've always been in this slot, but that doesn't mean this has always been the best slot, I don't think, as far as what time this show airs. In radio, drive time is king, and it just hasn't been really a thing we could ever pull off logistically for about 1,000 different reasons, but we're going to do it now. So, the announcement is that we're moving to morning drive. We're going to move the show up 2 hours now. So 7 o'clock, this show will start at 7 o'clock. If you're listening to us now, nothing's going to change. You're going to be great. You'll still get us. But what we're going to do is now be on 2 hours earlier. And we're really excited to do that, because that's something I think for KFH that, to have local sports talk radio at that hour is just, it's something that is good for the market. It's something that's good for us. It's something that's good for the station. And Tommy, we're pretty excited to be able to do this.
Yeah, we really are. And like you mentioned, this has been in the works for quite a while. A big thanks to Tony Dusing, our brand manager, operations manager for Odyssey, for really spearheading this effort. Our market manager is Becky Damian. Big thanks to her, all the Odyssey brass that have, really worked on putting all this together. This will take effect on January 6th. Monday, January 6th, we'll start airing at 7 o'clock from 7 to 9. And then, like you mentioned, Jacob, the really cool thing about it is that if you are a loyal listener from 9 to 11, you're still going to get this show from 9 to 11. So just consider this show being expanded by 2 more hours into morning drive. So on your way to work, on your way to school, wherever you're going in the morning, you'll be able to catch us. All of our regular guests are, going to be making that move with us as well. So you'll still get to hear Fitz. You'll get to hear Wyatt Thompson. You'll get to hear, everybody that you become accustomed to hearing on this program on a weekly basis will join us. So that's really exciting too. This has been a long time in the making. You and I were talking about it the other day, Jacob. This is we're going into year 25 of Sports Daily. It's going to be the 25th anniversary of Sports Daily in 2025, which is incredible. I view myself as a caretaker of this program, that's been around for a long time. It's bigger than any one of us individually, and we're excited to make this move.
Yeah, it is. I mean, look, this show's been around for a really long time, and we're growing it, which has always been the goal. It's been the goal we've had for a long time. And, now with the video stream that's airing, lots of different places, and 12 News Connected or wherever you're watching, and the growth of the podcast, it only made sense to keep growing into a space where the most old school linear over the air listeners are listening to the radio. So we're excited about that. We're excited to bring all of this. And yeah, all our guests are with us. We're adding guests. We're adding insiders all the time. We've got Brandon and TJ now in the mix to go with Paul and Tommy and myself. And so, the growth of it has been what's so fun and exciting. And I can't wait to see. Look, the reality is, back to Bruce, when I was here, like, we all worked at the time until 10 o'clock at night. Now Brandon and TJ, the young bucks, can do that. Try to make that turn. That's never a daily reality. Paul, you're probably up at 5 a.m. in bed by, 7 p.m. right after the early bird.
Well, that's not quite accurate. And by the way, just to be accurate, because I know there's going to be some old timers going, oh, wait a second. I remember when Sports Daily was on from 7 to 9. In the early years, Bruce was on from 7 to 9, but only for a couple of years. I joined the show in the last throes of the 7 to 9. So I did that for a while, 7 to 9. on KFH. We went down to the old office building down, and I don't even know the name of that shopping center at 21st and Woodlawn, and that's where the studio
Brittany Square or Kimberly
Brittany
Square, something like
Brittany
that.
Square, I believe. But anyway, so just to be accurate, the show was in the original days, and this was back in 2020, somewhere in there, 7 to 9, but only for a couple of years. But that's the total accuracy, because somebody's going to say, well, wait a second, I remember it anyway. So that's the case on that. But it's been fun, and I always enjoyed working with Bruce Hurl. I certainly enjoy working with Tommy and Jacob. What's his name? Jacobs. That was it.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that's one.
Okay,
That's
that's
the one.
I always
That's right.
enjoyed working with you guys. It's been a lot of fun. You know something? I won't do this job unless I'm having fun. I refuse to do anything that I don't have fun at. So that's the case on that. So this is going to be fun, and guys, it's going to be a whole new audience for us. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very rewarding, I predict, for this show to make this move, because you go to where the people are, and there's a lot of people looking for a little entertainment while they're driving to work. And you know something? If this show can provide it, hey, what's wrong with that, right?
Yeah, we'll get there, right? We keep the audience, we grow the audience, and it's going to be a blast. Nothing will change for our listeners right now, and that's what that was. Always in the back of my head as we've grown and had such an audience here that gets difficult. Nothing changes. That's my favorite part about the move is we basically take a 2-hour show, we make it a 4-hour show. We bring a new audience in and we have fun. And again, we appreciate everybody that listens to us via podcast or all the digital ways you're obviously taking us in a different way anyway. So that's all going to be right there for you. And it will be a blast.
Paul, I want to real quick, since you're in the studio, I know I've told you this story before, but I feel we're kind of nostalgic right now. Like we talked about the old days of Sports Daily and the 25th anniversary of the show and all of that. 20 years ago, back in 2005, I was a college student down in Winfield at Southwestern College, and Sports Daily came onto the campus to do the show live one day. It was Bruce, it was Bob Lutz, it was yourself, Paul. You guys came down to Winfield. I was a sophomore in college 20 years ago and was like this, I wanted to be a radio guy. I wanted to be you guys. And I remember I was asked if I would help out in the production of the show live on campus during that day. And really what that meant was going and getting you coffee, Paul. So I got you a lot of cups of coffee over the course of those 2 hours. But it was so much fun to watch you guys do that show 20 years ago. And, now we're getting into the 25th anniversary of the show. We're moving it to Morning Drive. But for me, I know I've only been on the show consistently for, almost 3 years now. But for me, it started 20 years ago. And it was really that connection with you guys coming down when I was just a college student. And now we get to expand the show, and it's really exciting.
Well, I remember going to Southwestern. In fact, we did it more than once, Tommy. I don't know if you were involved in those others, but we probably went down there 4, 5, 6 times, I'm guessing. And I'll tell you what, we went to Southwestern College, guys. They treated us like royalty. They were so good.
Our
to
royalty.
Us.
You mean I treated you like royalty? I'm the one that got you coffee for 2 hours.
But anyway, it was wonderful. We never ever said, oh, we got to go down to Winfield. Oh, no, it was, oh boy, we get to go to Winfield, because it was so much fun. And the kids were always so much fun to be around. And there was an energy when we did that show out live. And we used to do some shows live at different places. Maybe one of these days we can do that again. But I can tell you this right now, they treated us so well, Tommy. And I'm so glad that was a big part of your desire to become.
It was.
To become, and it really makes me feel good. And I was just a teeny tiny part of that. I mean, come on, I was not very significant in the early days like that, but it was so much fun to be on the show with Bruce and Bob and Jim Colby at one time. I don't know if you guys remember when Jim Colby was on, and so it's been really exciting and a lot of fun. And boy, it's been a heck of a ride for me. For a guy like me, been a heck of a ride.
All that I'm learning from this entire conversation is that you guys are freaking old.
You know something? Sometimes you got to show that age doesn't matter, but better does, if you get my drift. This show goes only 45 minutes. I'll meet you in the hall. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But anyway, this show is, as I should say, it's not old. It's just gotten better.
Well, the cool thing, like to your point, Paul, I mean, it's just the longevity, 25 years of a show on the same station under the same name. is unheard of in this industry. It's unheard of, basically anywhere. And so, for us to be able to continue to shepherd this show into the future, to expand it, to, make it, found in all these different places, whether it's podcast form or streaming or all of that. And this, Jacob, this is part of, several other major lineup changes on KFH that are going to be happening after the new year. Jim Rome made the announcement that he was moving a few hours later in the day. So it all kind of corresponds with, just trying to make KFH as successful as we possibly can.
Yep. It'll be a blast. And we'll have more on the overall lineup changes on KFH as we make our way through. I know Brandon's chomping at the bit here because I think we got a break here. We're going to stick around here, Brandon, yes, and make some picks. Brandon's got some games for us here. He sent those out, and I don't remember if I want to hear what happened last week.
Yeah, I think Jad, he's going to make us pretty happy, I think, when we come back from the break.
Something, I'm ready to talk about it, guys. What about you? I think, look at TJ over here like, que sera. You know what? That's what you're kind of thinking.
All I know is that me and Paul are down to the wire in this thing, and it's time for the nitty-gritty.
I don't believe this is a wire, buddy.
Let's go.
Paul, I'm going to make it up for you. I'm going to go fill up your prairie fire top over there. We're going to come back. We're going to make some picks.
All right.
A break here on Sports Daily.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere. Bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now. 831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
That's right. Sports Daily brought to you by IHOP. We are back after a big announcement in that first segment in case you missed it again. Sports Daily, just after the new year, moving from 9 to 11 to 7 to 9. The same Sports Daily, just at a new time, and it's going to be a fun ride for the crew. And it's also going to be a fun ride as we are brought to you by IHOP for Paul and I think. That's because we bring in Jed Chambers, producer. Jed, how did we do last week in the picks?
Well, as you've been kind of alluding to all morning, you and Paul went 4-1, won the week.
Didn't know that.
Yeah. So that worked out. Jacob, you were wondering how well you did. You went 3-2. TJ, week before last, you managed to tie Paul for the lead, but you went 1-4. Yeah.
That'd make him 3 games back, if I'm not mistaken, correct? If my math is correct.
That's good math.
Yeah.
That's good math there. You know, I like that math.
Yeah.
I really do
Tommy,
like that
you
math.
also tied for the lead, by the way.
Hey, rock and roll. Let's go.
Yeah.
Tied for the lead overall?
No, not tied for the lead overall, just last week.
Oh.
Tied for the last week's win. 3 of you went 4-1. And TJ, you're now down a couple of games. So Paul's back in sole possession of the lead. TJ's in second. We got Tommy and then Jacob right behind him with Brandon. Sorry, you're still in last place by a ways.
Someone's got to.
Well, you know, I want you to do well. Okay, I've done a show with you now, and I kind of have a soft spot in my heart for you. So you know something? I want you to do better. I want you to do better. I really do. I want you to come up and beat Jacob. That's what I want.
Hey,
Pass Jacob.
I don't think
what
I'm
I'm
anywhere
looking.
near Jacob.
That's what I'm looking for.
I don't want to know.
If Sports Daily is the AL Central, somebody's got to be the Chicago White Sox, and Brandon's taking that.
White Sox. That is an insult of insults.
My record is deserving of that.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
okay. I'll wear that.
I
with pride.
guess.
Yeah, so we got 6 more games coming up on tap. A real fun next week. Again, weird because we have college football playoff, but these games, as Jacob and I talked about earlier in the week, are not until New Year's Eve, New Year's Day next week. We got one game on New Year's Eve. We're not going to pick that one. That's Boise State and Penn State, but we are going to get into the rest of the games. First up is going to be Texas, Arizona State. Arizona State, the Big 12 champions, getting 13.5 points. We'll start. Let's start with Tommy as he's coming off a 4-1 week. Tommy, where are you in this one?
It's crazy to me just the number of points that Arizona State is getting in this game. And I know, Kenny Dillingham has got to be beside himself and using this as fuel to the fire. He's a fiery guy, getting his team ready to go, being like, look, nobody respects us in our first year in the Big 12. Everybody's picking Texas. I was all about Texas a week ago, and they ultimately covered and looked really good doing it. 13.5 is a lot of points. I think I'm going to take Arizona State. I've been impressed with them. I'll take those points. I just kind of like them to keep this game close.
So we have one for Arizona State. What says you, Paul? Texas, can they cover 13.5?
Listen, I'm going to make a prediction right now. Arizona averages 2.7 yards.
Well, we're talking about Arizona State.
Well, that's what I meant. Arizona State averages 2.7 yards per rush. Texas shuts down their run game. How important is rushing the football for Arizona State? Sets up everything. So Texas will be successfully on defense, stuffing the run. Texas wins this thing by 3 to 4 touchdowns. I'm taking Texas. Texas is good, guys. They're really good. I'm taking Texas.
Yeah, fun one, this one, because it's an outgoing Big 12 team now in the SEC versus a new team in the Big 12. They are the first-year champions. I think Texas is going to run away with this one as well. I like the Longhorns to cover 13.5. Just too much for Arizona State. What says you, Jacob?
Paul, did you just say Arizona State averages 2.7 yards a rush?
I said that's what they're going to average.
Okay. I was like, but there's a guy named Cam Scatterbo.
They will. Texas has the ability up front to shut this thing down.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying that right now they're not going to get near their average. And my prediction.
I agree. So I actually agree with that. I just want to make sure. I agree. I love Arizona State. I love the story. Jordan Tyson not being there, though, is tough. That's an all Big 12 receiver that they won't have. I love Arizona State. I think this is just such a bad matchup for them because of what Paul's talking about. That Texas defense is nasty. At 13.5 seems so crazy. And then there's the other fact, and we'll see this with all these games. Arizona State hadn't played in like 3.5 weeks. That can't be a good thing. And Texas has played. Texas's defense is really good. I also don't love the Arizona State defense. And so I just think it's a bad spot for Arizona State, unfortunately. I hope they do really well, but I do think Texas can cover 13.5. I'll take the Longhorns.
TJ, are we beginning with the Tommy Island?
So let me start this off by saying Jacob doesn't like Arizona State because there's no Jordan Tyson. Guess what, Jacob? You said that in the Big 12 championship, too, and they beat the brakes off of Iowa State.
I know.
Give me Arizona State. They're going to cover that enormous number. They're going to lose by like 7.
All right, so we have 3 on Texas, 2 on Arizona State. We move into the second game on Thursday. Ohio State favored despite losing to Oregon earlier this year. Oregon 2.5-point dogs, number 1 team in the country. They got a bye last week. Ohio State coming off an absolute drubbing of Tennessee, though. Paul, it's your turn to lead it off. Big Ten matchup. Who takes it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is a tough game for me to pick because I could make a case for either team. I really could. But let me just say this. I'm going to go with the one thing I look at. I think overall team speed for Oregon is probably a little better than Ohio State. I think both teams are going to be physical. Both teams have skilled positions. Both teams are well coached. Although some people think Ohio State isn't as well coached as
Ohio State fans think.
Yeah, some of them do. That's what they think. But I think they're still very well coached. I really am torn between this. I can flip a coin, but I'm going to take Oregon, and my deciding factor is overall team speed. And that's anecdotal. That's just watching them play, watching both teams played over the course of the season. I'm taking Oregon, and I don't even know why.
All right, we got 1 on Oregon. I think it's telling that Ohio State is favored in this game despite losing. They had some penalties that really affected them in the first game, and then, of course, the Will Howard slide, and then they were a couple seconds away from winning that game whenever they played against Oregon the first time. Ohio State's playing their best ball of the year. I like Ohio State to cover 2.5 and get into a CFP semifinal with Will Howard. What says you, Jacob?
So I've got like this narrative thing because I think I'm with you guys. I think this is really tight, but what I want to do right now is create this narrative to incite change in the system in year 2 of the CFP, which is it is absolutely asinine that these teams don't play for 3.5 weeks. It cannot be good for these teams. And so for the fact that Oregon has been on ice while Ohio State's played a game, I'm going to take the Buckeyes too. It's a Will Howard revenge game. It's a Ryan Day show you something game really throughout the postseason. But just in the hopes that we change the stupidity of how long it takes to get to this game in this round, I'm going to take Ohio State and hope we teach the committee a lesson and that we need to move all these games up at least 1 week. So that's why I'm taking Ohio State.
TJ, will the rest affect the Ducks of Oregon?
I just want to know that based on Jacob's logic here, I bet he thinks that Patrick Mahomes should start next week too and play the entire game, so that way he's rested up, not rested up too much.
Tune in on Monday. On Monday.
Anyways, I'm taking Ohio State in this one. I love Will Howard. He's playing so good right now, and that team they paid what $15 million, whatever it was, for this roster for a reason. It's because it's probably on paper the best roster that you can find in the entire country. They're starting to show why. Uncharacteristic loss to Michigan. They would have beat Oregon if Will Howard didn't do it earlier in the year. They're favored for a reason. They're going to cover that number.
Jacob said tune in on Monday. I'm pretty sure he's off on Monday.
Oh, how about that?
Tune in on what day am I back? Thursday. Tune in on Thursday.
He's talking about 12 News at 6. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah, that's right. All right, Tommy, where are you going in this one?
Yeah, so what everybody forgets about the whole Will Howard debacle when he slid and ultimately cost Ohio State the game against Oregon earlier this season is that he was having a stellar game leading up to that point. He finished the game 28 of 35, 326 through the air and 2 touchdowns. He's also coming off of an incredible performance against Tennessee a week ago. Knowing all of that, I've heard, I don't remember which one of you said Will Howard revenge game, but I kind of feel that for sure. And Jacob said that I'd like to see that. And Ryan Day has had pressure on his shoulders ever since they lost to Michigan. There's more to lose for Ohio State in this game. They're going to come ready to play. That's why they're favored in this game. I'm going to take the Buckeyes and I'll lay those points.
How about that, Paul? You get an island with the number 1 team in the country.
What as a dog? The number 1 team getting points. That's wild.
What just happened?
Oh, man. Why? We're just 2 picks in here on our Friday picks as well. Next up, we have, I think this one is the Peach Bowl. It is in Georgia's backyard. Notre Dame and Georgia. The Dogs getting 1.5 point, or they are 1.5 point favorites. That is, I'm going to start us off here. I think Notre Dame is playing as good as any team in the country. I think they have a legit chance to go on and play for a national title. Easy to say when there's only 8 teams left. But I'm riding a hot hand, as Jacob has alluded to. The rest, give me the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. How about you, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, my narrative is not complete unless all of the teams that waited this long all lose. So I'm going to also take the Irish. I grew up an Irish fan. Listen, there is zero chance that I want to give myself any reason at any point to ever root for Georgia in that game. Give me the Irish. Let's go. Give me the points. Let's go Notre Dame.
Now, TJ, is it the rest or is it just a chance that these teams that didn't win conference championships just aren't that they are the better teams? Is Notre Dame or Georgia covering this one?
It's a good question. By the way, this is the Sugar Bowl, not quite the backyard, but it's the next door neighbor.
It's right there.
It's hard to. I don't even know. I didn't write them down.
I don't know who Paul's going to pick, but I really want to go full tilt on Paul the entire way and just pick completely different at him. So I'm going to take a guess, and I'm going to say he's going to say Georgia. So give me Notre Dame.
Boy, oh boy, I'm in his head. I'm living in your head rent-free, aren't I, TJ? Rent-free.
Tommy, what says you?
Yeah, it's crazy that we're talking about this game and nobody yet has brought up the fact that Carson Beck is out and he's done and he's not playing for Georgia. That's a big deal, when you've got your QB1 who is just basically going to be out for the remainder of this entire college football playoff. Knowing all of that, and in fact, the line has moved toward Notre Dame over the last couple of days. I hate kind of setting Paul up for another island, but I guess that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take Notre Dame because Georgia's playing their backup quarterback. It's going to be Gunnar Stockton, who did have an okay second half when he had to fill in for Carson Beck, and he's had some time to get acclimated to that offense with Georgia, but he doesn't have that kind of firepower. Give me the Fighting Irish, and I'll take those points.
Do I even need to ask you, Paul? You already got the number 1 team in the country on an island. I mean,
how about the number 2 team in the country?
Hey, how about this? How about I'm living in all your guys' head rent free? I'm starting to own you guys, aren't I? You guys, I'm owning. I'm doing a little owning. Little ownership is good, and I think that's really great.
Hang on a second, Paul.
What?
Now, this is something I've told you before when you've had a lead in the picks.
Oh, I get confident, don't I?
Yeah. You have a chance to minimize the damage here.
Paul,
they
don't listen to
can't catch you if you pick the exact same things that they do.
Or you can build your lead.
Paul,
Don't be logical.
What kind of man are you? What kind of man are you? That's what we're about to find out.
I'm the kind that when the tough gets going, the going gets tough. No. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's what it is. That's what kind of man I am.
Also, Paul, when I cautioned you against doing that last year, you still won. So go with your head.
You know something? This is just so easy, though. How can I not take an automatic win with taking Georgia? Guys, you all could have taken Georgia. I would have joined you with Georgia. Beck not playing? Listen, they spent, $18 million on their football team? They got a good quarterback that can play. And listen, who's the more physical football team on the field between those two? Notre Dame is physical. I get it. But, man, fellas, you talk about physical football teams. You got Georgia in the top 2 or 3 most physical football teams in America. I've taken Georgia, and this will be a cakewalk.
Notre Dame probably didn't spend any money on their football.
Notre Dame didn't spend any money on that team. So that's a good pick by you, Paul, there. All right, now we're going to move into the NFL. A weird slate this week as we had games on Wednesday, Thursday. We have 3 games on Saturday as well as Sunday and Monday. And we're going to start with a game on Saturday. We have the Broncos going to the Bengals. Big AFC number 7 seed implications here as well. We're beginning with you, Jacob. The Bengals are 3.5-point favorites. Can they get it done at home?
You want to talk about living in somebody's head. I am so excited about this game. This game might be the game of the year because of how much I've set up shop, made a massive mess inside Tommy's head for this game right here because the Bengals are alive, baby, and they get to take on the Broncos here. This foreshadowing has been there for 2 months, Tommy, that when the Bengals get the chance to beat the Broncos, it'll have playoff implications. The Chiefs may ruin all that next week, but this week is a playoff game, and Joe Burrow and those Bengals are going to get it done against the Broncos, and Tommy's going to owe me beers, and he's going to have to sit there. Lucky for Tommy, I'm not there Monday and Tuesday, and we're not back until Thursday, because you better believe that I'll be pounding my chest after those Bengals beat the Broncos and stay alive in the postseason. And then we will all have to answer the question, should the Chiefs play their starters so that they don't have to play Burrow in the postseason? It's a strategy. It's a strategy. Give me the Bengals.
I mean, absolute mic drop. Great analysis there by our man, Jacob. What says you, TJ? How are you going to follow that one up? He's on the Bengals.
I have been tried and true all season long for trying to pick the chaos scenarios of what's going to cause the most eruption across the league, whether that be college football or the NFL or the 1 seed falling or whatever it may be. I love to see some playoff shakeup these past couple of weeks, and the Bengals are the team that could do it. I don't even know what Jacob just said, but give me the Bengals.
Yeah, so you're following him. You think chaos there. All right. So we have 2 on the Bengals as we go over to Tommy. Take it away, Tommy.
Look, Brandon, you call it like great analysis, and it really wasn't. It was terrible analysis because I'm gonna throw a number out at you guys. The number is 24. 24. That's the percent chance that the Bengals have to make the playoffs right this second. They have a 24. They have a 24% chance. I don't care what it was last week. They still have less than 0.25% chance to make the playoffs. Here's what they have to have happen. It's not just about them winning. They need help, and a lot of it to make the playoffs. They've got to beat the Broncos and the Steelers. They've got to lose to the Giants or the Jags. The Colts have to lose to the Giants or the Jags. The Dolphins have to lose to the Browns or the Jets, and the Broncos have to lose to Kansas City. There's a lot left to come if the Bengals want a chance to make the playoffs. So,
But you're going to owe me beers if the Bengals beat the Broncos this week, because what did I tell you a month ago? That the Bengals are better than the Broncos, and when they play in week whatever it is, that the Bengals are going to beat them. That's the bet.
There's not a single person on the planet right now, for some odd reason, that is picking the Broncos, and I don't understand why. The Broncos are making the playoffs, and I don't like the Broncos, but like nobody is giving them a chance in hell to win this football game. I'm going to give them a chance in hell. I'm going to take the points. Give me the Broncos. I'm going to take the points. The Bengals still need so much to happen to make the playoffs. It's ridiculous that we continue to have this conversation.
Paul.
Well, this is how am I even going to top any of you guys? That was pretty darn good analysis, if you ask me. I'll tell you what, here's how I'm going to do this. I have a place in Colorado that I like to go vacation in. I'm taking the Broncos.
What's wrong with Ohio?
What? I'm skipping Colorado to go to Ohio? Are you kidding me? I'm taking the Broncos. They're my home team, second home team.
And, all this talk about who's going to win this football game, it doesn't even matter because we're picking spreads. The Bengals could win this game, and the Broncos can still cover. That's the beauty of these picks, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm picking the Broncos to cover 3.5. Denver or Cincinnati could win this game, and it doesn't matter. They can win by 1, they can win by 2, they can win by 3, and I could still get this right. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Let it be known that beers do not need cover. Beers just need a win. That's it.
All right, great.
What in the heck is that? What are you
cool?
Tommy's going to owe me beers when Cincinnati beats Denver. This has been in the cards for 2 months.
Why the Bengals Broncos beat?
I don't know.
It's because I kept saying Burrow's really good, and Tommy was saying the Bengals suck and they don't need to worry about him. And I said, well, you just wait till they play Denver. They're going to beat Denver. They're better than Denver, and that's where it all started.
All right, excellent. Now we're going to move on to these two, the Packers and the Vikings. Any stakes here? Oh yeah, everything's at stake in the NFC. The NFC North, the 1 seed, the 5 seed, the 6 seed. I mean, there is so much at play here. In Minnesota, 13-2, 1-point home dogs at 325 on Sunday. We begin with you, TJ. Where does this one go? Do the Vikings cover at home, or does Jordan Love and the Packers ride into Week 17 out of it with win?
I just want to know why Vegas is disrespecting the potential 1 seed in the NFC in the Minnesota Vikings. If I've learned one thing from our Friday picks, is that you don't disrespect the Minnesota Vikings. It didn't matter when they were 15-point underdogs in Week 1 under Sam Darnold, or they're 1-point underdogs right now. I'm picking the Minnesota Vikings. I put my future in on them to make the Super Bowl yesterday. I'm picking the Vikings today.
Didn't you put a future in also on the Packers to make the Super Bowl?
That was my hedge.
Okay.
I love it. So, so Tommy, we have one on the Vikings. Where is your head at?
I mean, I think it's going to be Minnesota. I just think that they are they're a wagon right now, and it's a wagon that I certainly don't want to go up against, especially when the division is at stake, when potentially the number 1 seed in the NFC is at stake. It's a coin flip game. We're talking 1 point here overall. I know that the Vikings technically get a point, but I don't know. Come on, it's Minnesota all the way. I'll take that 1 point, I guess. Minnesota wins and they cover.
Yeah, they are 10-4-1 against the number this year as well, Paul. 2 of them on the Vikings so far. Where are you at?
Well, I see what's coming. I did not know that nobody would want to take the Packers. I'm predicting right now I may be on another. I was going to take the Vikings. I think quarterback play is better for the Vikings than for the Packers. I think defense up front is a little better for the Vikings than the Packers. I think that really the Vikings could win this game. But I see where this is going. And, this has been successful for me, Jad. I think this has been successful. Jad gives me the okay sign to do this. I'm going to go ahead and take the Packers because I'm going to be on another island. I'm predicting that right now. Another island for Savage.
So we have one on Green Bay, and I certainly am not picking Green Bay in this game as well. No one has embraced the underdog role like the Vikings this year, 3-0 against the number, and they're 13-2. overall as the underdog. Aaron Jones did not get a touchdown in Lambeau earlier this year, so he is going to take what they're calling the Lambeau leap when you do it at US Bank Stadium. He calls it the bank vault. So that's what he's going to get. He's going to get a touchdown against his former team, and the Vikings are going to advance to Week 18 with the chance to win the NFC North and claim the number 1 seed against the Lions, which I guess will be on Sunday Night Football at Week 18. I am on the Vikings. Jacob, 3 of us on Minnesota, 1 on Green Bay. Where you at?
It's the Darnold disrespect. I can't figure out this line, honestly. It's probably a trap. I'm going to take the Vikings, but it's because I like the Vikings. I think the Vikings are, to me, the most complete team in the NFC. They can run the ball. Obviously, they can throw the ball, and they play great defense. Are they the best offense? No, Detroit is. But they, right now with the injuries to Detroit, I think this is Minnesota's to take. And Jordan Love, I know Paul doesn't like Jordan Love. I like Jordan Love, but he's got to get in there and win some big games before we anoint him. I think
he's not there yet.
Are a better overall team than Green Bay is. And, they're both really good, but give me the home team with points. I got to take Minnesota.
All right, so you have a top 5 NFL team, and you have the number 1 and number 2 in college football on an island. Congratulations.
Let me just point this out before we go on. Let me point out. I have islands with Georgia. I have an island with Oregon. I have an island with the Packers. Guys, do you guys even know anything about football?
We'll find out next Friday. That's the beauty of this segment. Everything's recorded and logged by our producer, Chad. So. And then, just a weird NFL slate, but we're going to finish up with the Sunday Night Football game. Michael Penix and the Falcons going to Washington as they look to continue building towards the playoffs. Washington getting 4 points, and we begin once again with Tommy.
Yeah, I mean, this one, look, it's one that I'm not really looking forward to. I mean, I know that we're going to get to see Penix again, and I know that, Jaden Daniels and all of that. You've got the Commanders storyline. This game doesn't really excite me, and just for that fact, I'm just going to go easy with the favorite. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I'll lay the 4 points. I think that they've got the opportunity to win at home, win big by a touchdown or more, and I think that they continue their pursuit for a division title.
Paul.
Well, I'm going to go with the Commanders as well at home. They become a fun football team to watch with a great quarterback. I'm taking the Commanders.
I'm also on the Commanders. Don't trust Michael Penix. Jacob?
I trust Bijan Robinson, though. I just don't know about Michael Penix. It's an opportunity. It's 4 points. They allowed Saquon to have a big day last week. Maybe Bijan does the same thing. I'll just take the points because I think TJ may take the Falcons, and I'll take the island.
All right, Falcons. Or no Falcons Island for you, TJ. Where are you going?
You want to see some real fireworks? Came into today down 3 games to Paul. We're going to end this pick segment. Me and Paul full tilt. 6 different picks across the 6 different games. We're going to see fireworks next Friday. So give me the Falcons. Big Penix energy coming to Atlanta.
I can't believe it again. Oh man, we're not planning this out. We don't talk. This is just the way it lies.
All right, that will do it for our picks. Jacob, Tommy, any parting words?
Nope.
Hey, real quick for me. Hey, go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, can't wait to see everybody at 7 a.m. on January 6th. We'll have regular shows next week, but we'll be ready for it. Thanks, everybody.
Yep, I'm really excited about it too. Appreciate you guys covering for us this week. Real quick, a big shout out to my friends over at 3570 Golf Co. For the Friday Fit segment today. You can get all that stuff 35x70golfco.com. Use promo code Tommy for 10% off.
I was wondering what it was that was making Tommy look so sharp over there.
Look at that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. Enjoy the New Year's as well. We are going to continue to roll on here and wrap up Sports Daily. That was our Friday pick segment. Again, thanks for coming on, guys. And we will put a bow on this edition of Sports Daily with Zenner, with Cleveland, the rest of the gang right after this.
Just because it's 4 o'clock doesn't mean your day's wrapping up. Get the facts first on 12 News at 4. It doesn't matter where you are. In the office, on the road, or on your couch, 12 News is everywhere, bringing you the story as it happens, catching you up on everything you need to know, and giving you your first look at the next 10 days from Storm Team 12. Watch weekdays on KWCH and KSPW. 12 News at 4. Facts first.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here. Celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Clouds are not just the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
When you need help, remember, you're not alone. We are here. We are neighbors. We are together. We are Kansas. We are 12 News.
They say it takes a village. Come together and support local businesses in our neighborhoods. When you contribute to local shops, more money goes back into the economy. Shopping local makes our state stronger. So give back to the communities you love and watch our businesses and communities thrive. Shop local and be Kansas proud.
We are following a breaking update.
Every day, all day, stream the stories that have you talking near and far.
Whoever is behind the wheel of this bus is not stopping.
From hundreds of local reporters and meteorologists spanning the country.
Chaos here this morning at the UW campus.
Search LNL for the all-new Local News Live streaming app.
Make yourself known now. 83101 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems
Why are they hiding it?
and real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Sometimes people tell us, I don't get it, it's just tea. But let me tell you, we are so much more than just tea. With 20 plus flavors of sweet and unsweet iced tea, the possibilities are endless. Come on in and try them all for free to find your favorite or get us on the go for your busy lifestyle. And don't miss happy hour every day. So the next time someone tells you it's just tea, tell them to come by and find out why we say, drink tea, be happy.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Well, that was an electric pick segment as we wrap up Sports Daily here. TJ Cleveland, Brandon Zenner in for you for Jacob. and Tommy today. Paul Savage is going to stick with us for the last few moments. And Jed, Tommy, and Jacob, they had mentioned the New Year, and I know a good place to spend the New Year, Crestview Country Club.
That's right, Crestview Country Club. Of course, we've got we've got Tommy and Jacob, both members there, and they're really liking it. They've got big New Year's parties that you can that you can go to. They've got all sorts of things you can sign up for. It's not just about golf. It's kind of about a lifestyle. That's what they've said. And so we really appreciate Crestview being with us and sponsoring us here on Sports Daily through this year. And it's been really good with them. And it's just a fantastic place to go. And not to downplay the golf. The golf is really great.
Yeah, and tee times is already something that with the weather coming up the next couple of days before it gets a little cold, TJ and I have already been looking at the tee times, and so they have great golf and much more going on. A big Saturday coming up in the sports world. TJ, something near and dear to your heart, the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I don't know. Did you know what's going on tomorrow?
I knew it was going on tomorrow. Absolutely. Yeah. This is going to be an awesome matchup too, but I don't know what we're going to do. I know Strawberry, the Pop-Tart last year, got sacrificed. He's not coming back because he's dead. 3 new Pop-Tart flavors coming out though.
Can Paul guess the Pop-Tart flavors?
Go for it. Let's see what you got. Let me look it up.
Here's the one thing. I might be the only guy in America that's never had a Pop-Tart. I've never had
a Pop-Tart
in my life.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody
questioning your manhood now.
Well, say what? Pop-Tarts
for the second time this hour.
Wait, I popped just fine. Let me tell you that. But anyway, with that being said, no. But anyway, I know that one of you guys are going to bring a Pop-Tart in for me the next time we do a show together.
I'll see what I can do.
Do you have them in your?
I'm sure I do. Last year after I covered this Pop-Tarts Bowl, I went on like a 3-month binge of eating just multiple Pop-Tarts a day because it just changed my life being there.
In a good way or bad way?
It was awesome.
Awesome.
Wild
Somebody
berry.
bring me a Pop-Tart.
Frosted wild berry Pop-Tart, one of the flavors this year. It changed my life last year when I was there.
Bring me any flavor. I've never had a Pop-Tart.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll get on that. Did we find the other flavors?
I can't find them.
I think Hot Fudge Sundae might be
so.
one. And then I can't remember. But anyway.
Frosted Hot Fudge Sundae, Frosted Wild Berry, and a mystery flavor to be revealed.
Right. The mystery flavher. No
and the game's MVP gets to choose which of the Pop-Tarts will be eaten.
Gets sacrificed.
One of them will be sacrificed, and the giant Pop-Tart will come out, and they'll eat it.
Fun Friday here in for Jacob and Tommy. It was TJ. It was me, Paul. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
Glad to do it, boys. Glad to do it.
We have a fun weekend ahead of college football, of NFL, and of course we have some college basketball as well. We're going to recap it all for you on Monday. Brandon, TJ, we'll be back for you. Have a good weekend.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean